Hey everyone, Skull902 back here for Yoshi's Island Part 3. So, I did that whole big spiel about the art and the art direction and everything last time, and how that had an interesting story behind it. And, there's some more interesting stories, of course, that I'm going to be getting into, or at least stories that I find interesting. But I sensed that I was running out of time, so I didn't exactly get to finish what I was talking about last time. But before then, this is the first instance of Powerful Mario here. So you get these little stars every now and then, and it plays the music that you might recognize as like the cap music in Super Mario 64. Mario gets like a little cape, and if you hold down the jump button, he can like glide, which is pretty neato. You can extend your time here because this is limited. You can extend your time by grabbing more stars, so that's fun. He's got his little cape, like I mentioned, gliding and whatnot. He's also completely invincible. That's the other thing. They based that song, of course, on the invincibility stars, Starman. So it makes sense that Mario is completely invincible during those parts, and those parts, short as they are pretty fucking fun to go around in, especially when there's a lot of enemies to take down. So yeah. Speaking of things that we see first here, and character debuts on that little subject from yesterday, here's Poochie. So Poochie's in a couple levels this game. He's the faithful family dog. Look at him, all happy and excited he is. I like Poochie. No relation to the one from The Simpsons. Basically, how Poochie works in this is that he does have like an automatic running path, but he will change directions based on like where you're facing. So long as you don't keep dropping down into this fucking pit. So if you're facing left, he'll go left. If you're facing right, he'll go right. And I'm sure that that's a completely mind-blowing concept to you. I'm kidding, but he's a good character. I like him. Not terribly annoying. Though I haven't played the extra level that he's in, so I hear that one's a right bastard. So perhaps I would hate him after playing that one. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see for when I do the extra part, the first one, when I'll finally get the chance to play that level. So yeah, Poochie. But aside from that. Again, like I said, I did not get the chance to finish my thoughts on the whole art thing from the last part. So, I mentioned Donkey Kong Country a whole bunch last time. And I don't know if I followed up on the original point when I was talking about it in DKC2, but I might as well bring it up here again. There is purportedly an interview with Shigeru Miyamoto where he said something along the lines of people only play Donkey Kong Country because it looks pretty. Something along those lines. And that interview was published around the time that this game came out, which would have also been around the same time that DKC2 came out. And personally, never actually was confirmed if it was Miyamoto who said that, or if that was like a mistranslation of something he said, or if he even said that in general. So, jury's out on that. But if we assume that that is something that he said, then it like really pissed Rare off, and that was like the whole reason that Donkey Kong wasn't playable in DKC 2 or 3. And that's one of the reasons actually why I don't believe that Shigsy said it, is because also get fucked, Bandit. You'll find these games every now and then where you have to compete against the bandit in one of them. The balloon hopping one, I think, is like the best one of the. I believe there's 2. There's like another one that's like hot potato that I'm not too terribly into, but the balloon one's fun. Where you're just going around popping them and seeing if the one that you pop contains the prize. So yeah, that's it. But as I was saying, one of the reasons why I don't believe that was what Miyamoto said, or at least what he meant to say, was that this was right around the time that Donkey Kong Country 2 was coming out. So like, I don't quite see how Rare could make that decision, in retaliation for that, so close to the time that the game was coming out. Perhaps it would apply more for 3, but at the same time, like, it just doesn't seem to line up. And again, like I mentioned, games that Miyamoto was involved in, this one, for the small amount of pre-rendered 3D graphics there are in this one, as well as Super Mario RPG, those have the same type of graphics, so I don't think that he was opposed to anything. The sequel to this game, Yoshi's Story, that's another one that I wanted to mention, is entirely pre-rendered 3D graphics. So, I don't think that there was like any particular bad blood between Nintendo and Rare over comments that Miyamoto may or may not have made. So, again, I personally don't believe it, but that was a persistent rumor that had been going around for quite some time. So, just wanted to shed some light on that and whatnot. It's not the reason that this game has the hand-drawn look, everyone. That's basically the point of what I was saying in the last part and this part. But as far as, some, like, actual bad blood, I guess you could say, some tension, that's the word I was looking for, is concerned, I could always talk about the story behind, the Super Effects chip, the second version of which this particular game runs on. I was talking about like the visuals and stuff, but there are a lot of like really good visual effects in this game that would not have been possible without the use of the Super Effects chip and all the enhancements that come with it. Particularly, like, again, it's the second version, so this game uses Super Effects too. So, basically, the Super Effects chip is a enhancement chip that was included in many Super Nintendo games, perhaps the most famous of which is the original Star Fox. And then you've also got stuff like Stunt Racer FX, Star Fox 2, this game. So let me get into that. The chip was created by a company called Argonaut Games, who ended up developing Star Fox and Star Fox 2. But, like, they got their start on, the classic computers of the day with their first two games, Star Glider and Star Glider 2. So they did that, and those games were impressive because they had like 3D graphics in them. You know, that shit hadn't been seen, and this was in like the late 80s. So, you know, particularly really good visuals for the time. And they continued that trend too. One of their guys, when the game, I almost said GameCube, when the Game Boy was new, they basically like reverse engineered it and made a demo of a 3D space shooter game. Quite bravely, decided to show off this like pirated game, basically this unlicensed game, to Nintendo at the Consumer Electronics Show, where like the Nintendo representative there was like, "Holy shit, this is actually like really, really impressive." And then, like at his suggestion, they showed the game off to Nintendo's Japanese executives. I guess they mailed a copy of the cartridge over, and they were very, very impressed by that. They had a meeting, and that was like their sort of first coming together, was like the approval for this game. So Nintendo gave them some support and everything, and they finished the game, which ended up becoming X for the Game Boy. And that game has an interesting story in and of itself, but I'm not going to like go into it too deep here. But you know, they made themselves known by making this 3D game for the Game Boy, and Nintendo was very, very impressed by it, and it eventually got officially released and finished and all that. So, you know, they had their foot in the door, and they had proposed, you know, making a port of Stargliders for the NES. But Nintendo was like, hold on there, buddy. You know, that would be really impressive if you used an enhancement chip and all, but like, you know, these new systems here, Sega's got the Mega Drive / Genesis, NEC's got the TurboGrafx, you know, as impressive as the visuals would be, I think that, you know, it would be more impressive to do something similar on our upcoming console. So Argonaut was like, okay, sure, we'll take on the challenge, whatever. They ported what they had for Stargliders to the Super Nintendo, but it didn't really take, you know, like it didn't get released or anything, but they knew that they could do it. So, oh, by the way, this here bonus challenge is drawing lots. You pick one, and you know, it was Kamek, so I lost. So you have an equal chance of either getting Kamek or a power up. You just pick one. It's simple as shit. But back to this whole Super FX story. You know, the Japanese executives were a little apprehensive at first to, you know, letting them make this chip, because it would, you know, require them knowing quite a bit about the Super Nintendo's internals and stuff. But they gave them the go-ahead after, you know, the whole X on Game Boy thing was done up. And so it was pretty much agreed that, you know, for the 3D game on the Super Nintendo, they were going to make a spaceship shooter, and that ended up becoming Star Fox. So Argonaut did all like the graphics and the level design, programming and whatnot, and Nintendo would take care of the character design, the story, and everything like that. Star Fox used the chip. And the visuals obviously were very impressive and everything. It became like a bit of a hit, and so they were all for future collaborations. And I wish that you know, the goodwill and everything had kept going on, but unfortunately that's not how it really worked out. You know, they had started development and were damn near complete as well. I think they were like 95% complete with Star Fox 2. Basically under the same deal, like, you know, they were going to do the programming and everything. Nintendo would take care of the story and all that. And they were damn near finished. And then Nintendo, for, you know, whatever reason, and I'll get into it in a bit because they did actually have a reason, they canceled the game, which was very bad for Argonaut because, you know, Nintendo covered the costs of development, so they didn't necessarily lose any money making the game, but they lost money not selling the game, basically, because they had like an exclusivity contract with Nintendo for 3 games. Star Fox 2 was the third of which. And basically, like, the payment for those games, like the royalties, all depended on game sales. So because the game didn't sell anything because it wasn't released, Argonaut saw $0 fucking dollars from the development of Star Fox 2. Which fucking blows, you know. This game that's almost complete, and then Nintendo just pulls the plug on it for reasons that I think, like, they were, I don't know, it sounds very insecure, their reasons for it, and I can like kinda understand, but at the same time, you know, they should have just let the guys release the fucking game. So basically, the reason why they were like, nah, fam, you can't, was because, you know, this was in 1995. The PlayStation and the Saturn were either out, you know, in Japan or about to come out in North America. So they were like, you know, if we release this game and the N64 is not ready yet, you know, this is going to be unfavorably compared to other games on those systems that, you know, are coming out. Sega and Sony are going to have a bit of an edge on us. Ridge Racer, according to one of the developers, was used as an example of that. And, like, again, I kind of get it, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, you're that far ahead, you should have absolutely just fucking let them complete it and release it and whatnot. But then again, maybe it was also a financial decision, because one of the things, you know, as much as Super FX games were impressive and whatnot on the visual side of things, and, you know, there were plenty of good games released that used the chip, there was also a bit of a problem in terms of cost, because not only did the use of an extra chip make the games more expensive to produce, but because they were more expensive to produce, you know, they also had to sell them at higher prices. And, you know, it hurts the consumer a little more, you know, if they're paying extra money to, you know, get a game and whatnot. There's one of the ones. Yeah, that's the first of 3. Really fucking disappointing. Goodness gracious. But yeah, again, like, you know, it kind of sucks. Because, you know, they cost more than the normal Super Nintendo game, so it hurt the developers just a teensy bit more. Or the consumers, rather, just a teensy bit more to do that. So, you know, it might have been a financial decision, as well as just like a general, hey, you know, this might not be very favorable compared to some of these other games. But again, I personally feel that Nintendo should have released the game at the time, because they did later on, but, you know, as we'll find out by the end of the story, it was a bit fucking late. Better late than never, but still, like, you know, some bad things could have been prevented with the release of it. So after that game was canceled, and I guess, like, this whole shebang comes to full circle with this one. Argonaut, you know, took the L basically and was like, you know, okay, alright. So, listen, we've got this prototype all made up, and for the Nintendo 64, just so that people, you know, don't draw unfair comparisons to games on hardware that's very clearly more powerful, how about we do this? We've got this prototype here. Have yourself a look. This is a 3D platformer game with Yoshi as the main character. We think that it could be pretty fucking banger. And Nintendo resoundingly rejected it. Again, for whatever reason. Maybe they already wanted the Yoshi sequel to be more like this. Who's really to say? But that was obviously a very disappointing blow to Argonaut, who I think called it quits on like working directly with Nintendo. Like they still had games that were released on Nintendo systems afterward, but like none of them, I think. Or wait, no, they did have exclusives. So like it mustn't have been like complete and total bad blood or resentment or anything like that. But you know, most of their games from that point onward were released on other systems. So, you know, the Yoshi game that they proposed eventually became Croc and the Legend of the Gobos, which is a fondly remembered platformer from the time, at least like in terms of like the contemporary view on it. Like people thought that it was a good game, basically, but in the modern times, I think people like still view it favorably, but there's some things about it that could be improved. Like for instance, the game has tank controls, which yuck. You know, that's obviously not the greatest. But you know, they were able to go on for a little bit longer. You know, Croc had a sequel, and they did plenty of licensed games, but unfortunately, you know, the contracts that they were taking on just weren't that great, I guess. And Argonaut had to shut their doors. Eventually, they basically like shuttered in 2004. They declared British bankruptcy, whatever the proper British term for that is, because they were a UK company, in 2005. And then after all their assets were sold off and everything, the company ceased to be in 2007. So a very unfortunate story. And again, Nintendo ended up fucking releasing Star Fox 2. And, you know, I still think that it's a cool thing that they did. It's just like it was a bit too late for the people who really needed the release of that game to, you know, see the benefits of their work, you know, to actually get fucking paid for it and everything. So, you know, a bit of a bittersweet ending there. You know, Argonauts no longer around as a company, but at the same time, the game that they were working on did finally see the light of day, and from what I can tell, people are, you know, pretty positive about it. You know, Star Fox 2, I think people like it, so it was nice that the game did eventually see official release. It had been out, you know, illegitimately for a bit of a time, but, you know, that's the story of the Super FX chip. Sorry for going on so long about it. We saw this with a couple of normal-sized boos earlier, or at least, like, slightly bigger ones. But the way that you defeat this boss here is, despite him getting bigger, you got to bounce the eggs off the walls and hit him enough times, and he'll eventually go down. I think that that's an interesting concept for a boss fight. Especially for the point that we are in this game, in the first half of the second world, I think that it's a good challenge for like where we are in terms of difficulty progression. So yeah, good stuff. I'll see you for the rest of World 2 in the next part. Until then, I have been Skull902. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.